evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Spike Nation podcast, the only podcast made by Spike members for Spike members. I'm your host, Jordan, aka 40 Licks. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Ironworks himself, Trenton.
Hello, everyone.
Joining us again in the Spike Nation studios, you know him, Mr. Bannock.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, Bannock. And this week's guest hails to no man. She's a strong Spike Nation woman. Please welcome to the Spike Nation podcast, Chow Bandit.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Bandit, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well, thanks.
You know, I feel so let down when Jordan does that because he's so energetic about it. I almost want there to be some theme music. I want to come out in like sequins and like Elvis.
Like Frank Sinatra, like big band.
Didn't you actually make me a theme tune?
You know what, Trenton? It's the same way when I make love. I put so much effort and get so little back.
Oh, no.
Oh, I hope my girlfriend is not listening. Well, Lindsay, welcome to the Spike Nation podcast. We welcome you with open arms, and thank you so much for answering our plea to get a Spike Nation woman on.
Oh, I know. A little belated, but I finally noticed.
Yeah, no, I want to also give a mention to Toki Jam. She was one of the first Spike Nation females to reply to me, but unfortunately, we couldn't work out a scheduling. It's so hard to get everybody, because we're all from across the globe. It's so hard to get everyone down for the Spike Nation podcast, but we will work on it, and we will get another. Trust me, guys, we will have more strong female opinions on the Spike Nation podcast. This is not going to be a male-only podcast.
Where is Toki Jam from?
I think she's from Oregon. Lindsay, you're from Oregon, right?
And if she's from Oregon too, then what's up?
Oh my God. Yeah, what's up?
I mean, it's not exactly like we're on another
What's up,
quarter of
Toki?
the planet there.
We got Bannock there, no problem. No, you know what? I don't want to give too much. I think she got a new job. So let's all give a round of applause because finding a job in this day and age, in this economy, is very hard, and it deserves an accolade. So, Lindsay, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Not too much, because, you know, it is Spike Nation. And we got to leave a little to the imagination. Why don't you tell us how you found Spike Nation or Spiked Humor, and sort of tell us what you like about it the most.
Oh, yes. So I'm unfortunately one of those duds who can never remember dates or years or anything, but I definitely came across Spike Humor way back in 2006. I mean, it's been a long time.
Back in the day. Those were good old days.
I think I came across it the way most people who came across Spiked Humor is I noticed an ad or a link of, you know, do you want more? Come to the site. And then I just got hooked.
I've never seen those. You know,
really?
Anthos said that's how we found the website, and a lot of people have said that's how they found the website. I think Toki Jam too. I have never saw those advertisements, and I'm only hearing about them the first time because of this podcast and the people I've met.
Well, the history of Spike Humor is kind of, I mean, for me at least, is kind of shrouded in mystery. I mean, apparently at some point that it was attached to Spankwire. Is that correct?
I think we debunked this rumor our like second or third podcast. This might have been before you, Trenton. I remember discussing this with somebody, and then someone posted in the comments that they were not affiliated with the same website. I think they mirrored to each other sometimes, but I don't think it was the same creator or anything.
Well, what the hell is Crave?
Crave is like a bigger sort of
I think they
entertainment
bought Spiked Humor. I think Crave bought Spiked Humor, and then they shut it down because it wasn't popular enough, in their opinion.
You know what? Fuck them. We don't need them.
Yeah, that was the general opinion.
I think that's where I first got my, I remember going on Spike Humor but never registering, and I feel bad that I never did now, but I remember just always going on it and like reading the comments and thinking they were funny. And then the second it shut down, that's when I was like, oh shit, the Spike Nation thing's coming up. And I remember looking it up on like Facebook, and they were like, hey, we're going to Spike Nation. I was like, all right, man, I'm signing up. Sign me up. Oh, and I never looked back. And now look how much success it's brought me.
So I've got to confess. I mean, understanding that a lot of the internet is male dominated, and I mean it's pretty rough. I mean, it's just like, you know, testosterone wall to wall. And I'm always fascinated by a woman that's not only willing to set foot in that particular river, but to be an active part of everything. So
yeah, you're like Joan of Arc. You know?
Oh.
Ooh, wow.
Well, it's like a girl gamer.
I think that's a very
It's an understatement.
large comparison there, but no, I know what you're talking about. It's kind of a unknown / not very favorable realm to step into, but I do know that there's a lot of people who use the site who are female or who go online and play games that are female. And you just slowly have to get a few more voices heard, and more people will speak out.
Yeah, you know what? Like, sorry to cut you off, Trent.
No, go ahead.
I find with Spike Nation, we have like a big like anime and manga community, and that's really heavy with the females. So, we have like a certain niche. I don't know if you're, partake or you're part of that category, but I could see, that's where a lot of the female viewers come in, especially with like the not safe for work gifts that get posted. A lot of them are, either cute puppies or
What
something.
manga are you talking about? The last manga Spike post was Rape Man, for crying
No,
out
wasn't
loud.
that like what's that really popular one that they're making the movie about? The Titan one.
Oh,
I
the
remember
Titan
seeing
one.
a couple that was the first time I've ever heard about that, and that was on Spike.
That thing
Bannock.
with tentacles.
Bannock. So Charlie,
What people
Someone's
don't
not hiding
realize
their
is I'm a
pop-ups.
manga nerd as well.
yeah, I was stepping on your territory. You got mad at me. It's okay. It's okay. It was like I was trying to take your bone away from you, and you're just growling.
Yeah.
Speaking of bones on that same topic, it's the internet is really kind of gay in a sense. Let me explain what I mean by that. Because
Need not.
with gay guys, right? See, the only check that is on men as far as being proper and all that kind of stuff is women. Because if men behave as men do, they don't get women. Okay,
That's
so
why there's bathhouses.
No, you're absolutely right. When I went and spent that couple of months in San Francisco with Jill Turman, the beautiful blacksmith lady over in San Francisco, it is like, a fucking orgy, because guys get to be as disgusting and vile as they want to be. And not only is it tolerated, it's encouraged. And it's a lot like what's here, because the more nasty gifts we can put up, the higher we are looked upon. And my God,
Spike Nation to a male bathhouse.
that is tell me I'm wrong.
You are not wrong. Anything. I think Adam McCrolla says it a lot. He's like, guys just will do anything, and they don't care who it is or where it is. It's just they're down the fuck, and it's disgusting, but it's sort of beautiful. It's sort of beautiful. But
can you imagine being a woman? My God, because the only way that you beat that system is by being more vile and disgusting than the men that are around you, and that is horrible.
That's an accolade right there.
But the problem is, there's still enough men to find that attractive, and they'll still be as pigs to that even.
Yeah,
Right, it snowballs.
Oh man.
It's so many ways.
Oh,
By the way,
it snowballs, but not in a gay sexual way.
Or does it?
Oh, well, on the not safe work session it does.
God.
Or who was posting those gay gifs in the comments and
Did you see that video? We have to go to this video now.
Which
that
gay
video
video?
about come on, the girl with the schwang and the dude with the
the butch dude that changed his
there's been a rash of transgender stuff that has gone on here lately.
It's empowering, but let's not forget that he has a daughter, and he could have made that decision a couple of years before he decided to get married and ruin a woman's life. I'm just pointing that out. But I know, but society
pressures. Also the road to discovery or self-discovery.
Like, I just feel bad for that, 7-year-old girl that seems happy now, but then 20 years later is sitting in the therapist's office like, yeah, my dad's hotter than I am.
But to be honest though, there are plenty of, especially here in the South where gay is not cool at all. There are plenty of gay guys that do not come out until their 50s or 60s and have
a lot of them in the military too, and that guy was in the military.
Yeah, and let me tell you, do you know that there's such thing as a gay rodeo?
Oh yeah, of course. I learned that on King of the Hill.
Okay, there really is. And there was a guy when I was in Atlanta at Stone Mountain. And there was a guy there that you would never know that he was like the most anti-gay acting guy, but he was a bull rider, and it turns out that he was gay. And he says, you know what I can't stand? He says, we go to these things, we have our entire circuit. He said, these guys that are just butch, I mean, the manliest of men will go out there and just ride a bull and just fuck him up and then step off and go, ooh, that was a bad one. He says, I cannot fucking stand that.
We can't do like a ringer thing where I like think I'm better than all the gay guys and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go into the gay rodeo, and then I go there and everyone's like really better than I am.
Well, wait. See, the gay rodeo actually has an event that regular rodeo doesn't have.
How do you weed out the non-gay guys from trying to contend in the gay rodeo? I'd like to meet that casting director.
Yeah,
right.
Step on the couch if you want the bull.
I think it's one of those things though where most straight people would not even try for it, so
right,
that's kind of like the awkward
If the prize is $10,000, I'll do a lot of things.
Oh.
I really have no shame.
I actually when I'm down here in Morgan, I had a guy that stayed with me that was a bull rider, and he was a little guy. But you talk about extremely homophobic doesn't cover it. I got an application for the gay rodeo, and I sent it to him in a package with some pink chaps, and that son of a bitch liked to beat me to death. He was fucking furious. There was no comedy in what he did. He was pissed when that application and then pink chaps came in the fucking mail. That was pretty ugly.
What do you think that is? Is it just like an ego thing, or he's just, I don't think everyone that is homophobic is, closeted themselves. I just don't get it. I don't know if it's just a generational thing. I just don't get this sort of offensiveness. Like, oh, how dare you even remotely, iota of a, trying to, compare me to a gay person.
Yeah, I think part of it is that gay people tend to be seen as lesser, even though, we're all humans. Come on now. But it's still a subcategory or a minority. Right. So, if you accuse someone of being a minority or being slightly lesser than the norm, then that person takes offense. And especially if it's something that is basically the center to the rest of their life. I mean, if you're straight and someone's accusing you of being gay, then a lot of the other things in your life can potentially be influenced. I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be influenced, but, they'll react very strongly towards it.
I'm going to say that there's a lot more. I don't think that that's as true for women as it is men, because so much of a man literally is wrapped up in his wiener. Because the act of humping something else shows dominance. And understand, we have been bred to be dominant for the past 100,000 years. I mean, it is in our core genetics to be on top. And for another male to have that particular dominance over you is a very is kind of a terrifying thing. And I think that's where a lot of that comes from, is just the very thought of such a thing, because you're expressing male dominance over, or being dominated by another male. And, the term pissing match comes to mind. And, butt rape is kind of the pinnacle of humiliating another male.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, not in this house.
I personally think we're not actually, like, as humans, we haven't reached that stage where we know enough about sex and gender and all of that mixed together, so we can have all these theories about what it actually is.
You even look at Go ahead.
I think the biggest problem is the lack of education people get.
Agreed.
If people are educated enough to understand that it's just natural, it's, they're still human beings, and it doesn't matter how he feels about it, as long as he behaves properly with them. It's just a lack of education.
I mean, we're just one shy chromosome away from just all being females. I mean, it's a lapse in logic to understand.
Isn't the fetus, when the fetus is first female,
gender
and
neutral.
then if it's a male,
female.
yeah.
And it starts gender neutral, though.
Thank you, ladies.
It shows like a really big lapse in judgment if you just can't look at the humans for what they are and realize, and I know it's hard, I don't want it to be offensive for me to say that being gay is a sort of imbalance or something like that. But, I do believe you're born gay, and I don't think if it is an imbalance in the brain, I don't think that's a negative thing. It's just a fact, I respect, I wouldn't someone that's born, oh, I'm gonna sound really bad. Like someone
Oh, go
that's
for it.
born with like a genetic disease or something, we don't, it's almost. Like being gay is
let
almost
me
look like
save
a
you from
plague
digging
instead
that
of.
hole any deeper.
Yeah, I know. This
All right, so
I'm
let me step in
putting
here.
a backhoe in my.
Yeah. So here's the deal. There's a bell curve. Okay. In any species, there's a bell curve, and there's what is considered the norm, and then there are the edges that are different.
Right.
Gay people are separate from what is considered the norm or the vast majority of humanity. There's nothing wrong with that. Perhaps the wrong chemical, some chemical got applied at the different, at the wrong time, and so they come out with a different preference. I mean, it's a lot like saying that I don't like ice cream and these people do like ice cream, and it's not a choice. It's just that you don't like fucking ice cream. And
you just change your voice on a dime there, Trent. I'm just gonna point that out real quick.
So, well, look. Let me tell you something, babe. When you're from where I'm from, when in my native accent, people really don't take you fucking serious, all right? So when you're trying to make an educated point, you talk very properly, very educated, so that people don't immediately dismiss what you say.
Yes,
I love your accent. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm taking you seriously.
You should just
I
have
think you've got like a shotgun already in your hands, just talking to us over Skype. Well, I'm like,
just waiting
whatever
for
he
Mexicans
says.
to come in your land. Oh,
Get
man.
off my land! Get off my goddamn beers!
Moonshine.
Oh, well, speaking of discrimination, let's move off from the homosexual community. Let's go to a video that's been on Spiked. I don't know if you guys have all seen it, but this big hoopla over Stephen Colbert making a anti-Chinese joke, and then this woman going on a they basically they opened themselves up. They basically picked a random Twitter follower to put on Skype and have on their news radio show, and it turns out she's completely insane. I don't know if you guys have seen this video.
No, that was the Huffington Post, and you talk about. I think whoever put up there cringeworthy, and I don't think that there was.
Word of the day.
Yeah, I do not think that there is any more apt description out there of such a thing, because you talk now. Look, again, I come from a very poor portion of the country, and when you have poor people don't worry about these type of things. But from the very way that woman talked, you understand a couple of things. One, that woman has never known real hardship, at all. Period.
Oh man.
And two, to have these points thrown at her and to have her dismiss them, and the part that I love is that when she just got through out of her mouth that it was absolutely horrible to disrespect somebody or to make a prejudgment or to dismiss them because of their particular race, she turned around and says, "But you're a white man, and therefore your opinion is invalid." I mean,
Oh
the rest of my brains just fell out of my ear. And that was just, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that was the biggest. Yep, that was the biggest thing I took out of that. It's just things are racist, so I'm gonna be racist, or like you're being racist to me, so I'm gonna be racist to you.
Well, I think actually it's not like I don't think it's always a very conscious racism where they just always seem to be on the high horse. They think they're correct, and anything you're doing is incorrect, so they don't see their own faults. I see this for countless subjects. It's really annoying.
Oh man.
But look, American white men though are an easy target now because they've been bitchified. I mean, the kiss of death
I've done
right
it to myself.
Well, no, that's the thing. The kiss of death right now for a white male in America is to be called a racist, and most white men run fucking scared.
Yeah, that white guilt.
Oh, well, no, it's not white guilt. I mean, I spent most of my time in the housing projects down here, and I scare my white friends because I'm like, no, this guy isn't discriminated against. He's just a lazy fucker. But that's the thing. How do you the problem is that pendulum, and look, in the 60s, in the 50s, things were bad in America. There's no two ways about it. Okay, fire hose. Selma's about an hour and a half drive from here. And if you're not aware, and I forget that not everybody's American, Selma was one of the marches during the Civil Rights Movement where they went over the bridge. They got hit with water hoses. German shepherds were latched onto their asses. It was bad. And
you ever hear about that guy that poured bleach into the pool while the civil rights protesters were swimming in it in like a Hilton?
Oh gosh.
He was like a Hilton owner, and they were protesting the no colored swimming, and they jumped in the pool, and he just started pouring bleach right in the pool. Never convicted, never nothing. Just like it happened.
But
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
again, it's awful when those things happen. But now the pendulum has swung, and there's gonna come a point that there's unmitigated racism and prejudice, and then there comes a point where people are just fuckers. If I see a white dude that comes down the street, I don't know this man. I don't trust him. If he looks like he's going to reach into his pocket for a gun, I'm going to take a stick to his head, as I would anybody, because people are fucking dangerous. People are fucking dangerous.
And Whitey,
Now,
Whitey's crazy, man. I'm Trent. You know it, man.
You don't hear a lot about the brothers climbing up in bell towers with a
Hell.
high-powered rifle to even the score, do you?
Man, I had this
Oh my
kid in my
gosh.
in fifth grade made like a homemade bomb and tried to put it in his locker in school. Like Whitey, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
genetics. We've got our fucking problems.
You know what it
my
is?
people.
Those people that would have been phased out 100 years ago, they're fucking now, and they're having
No.
kids.
I blame Bannock. Okay, my stock comes
Spreads
from
his
your
seed
home,
like Johnny
bitch. So
Appleseed, you know.
whatever the shit mushrooms y'all are eating in Ukraine, we suffer.
Oh, Bannock, speaking of that, I
The
need to.
problem is there isn't enough fucking about.
You're not supposed to eat the anti-mushrooms, you know.
Look, you don't eat them, you boil them.
You boil them, yeah.
Get the facts straight. You get the juices out. That's where all the,
You
all the.
can do the same thing with Morning Glory seeds too. Kids, kids
There's
try
gonna,
this.
there's gonna be a video that pops up of Bannock's gonna be in one of them fucking horse head masks, boiling a mushroom and dancing around in a diaper on the highway so Google can take a picture of him.
He's gonna be like that Coney 2012 guy, just like jacking
my
it in the
gosh.
middle of the city with his
That's
clothes.
it. Wait, no.
Do you remember
Bannock
I asked you for
2014.
a
Bannock
podcast?
2014. Make him famous.
Trent, do you remember I asked you for a code piece and how much it would cost to make?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why I wanted that? I wanted to actually go to the.
Gasplay?
Do you know the Spanish bull runs?
The
Oh,
booyah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
please
I
film
actually
this.
wanted to,
Oh, the
I
bull
actually
run.
wanted to go there in a code piece and a red cape, and that's it.
You
That's
know you would
fucking
probably
awesome.
wind up dead, right, man?
Awesome.
He trips
Probably.
over.
I can run
turns
fast,
cape.
actually, so that would be good.
I'd also totally want you to start up a blog where you can just document all of the chafing that you have from being super sweaty and running for your life.
You would do like a Disney
I'll put a GoPro cam.
picture.
My dear,
I'll stick a
you are severely underestimating the comfort and craft that I place into my conscience. The
There'll be no
support,
chafing.
the support. It's almost like a vagina with a zipper.
Oh, there you are.
Clinton's underwear is just like a chastity belt.
The visual, maybe
Metal
not so
box.
much.
So even as you're flying through the air with a bull's horn in your left buttock, you're going, God, my genitals feel caressed.
God,
I think
there's no
think that's
moisture
why I
down
wanted-
there. I didn't even put baby powder. I feel so aerated.
I think that's why I wanted. Even when my body's like mangled and crushed to the bits, my cod piece will still protect the most
They'll
important
be able
part.
to identify your body based on your
Yeah,
tits.
That's his.
perfectly
That's
deserved.
his.
Your
We've
last
seen
words
it
are
with
going to
the red
be,
light.
oh my gosh, that workmanship.
Oh man.
The report is on the scene. It appears that there's a mass of bodies. There's bloody carnage everywhere, but that is a very nice con piece.
Made by Mr. Ironworks from
Wow, look at the
It-
form-fitting nature of that cod piece.
Purgatory Ironworks explodes online, just like
Oh
the
my
website
gosh.
shuts down.
I can see them like zooming in, looking at your logo and everything, like,
Oh.
oh my gosh.
You know,
You
and
see
I would
extras
put
coming up there.
sequins around my logo if I did something like that, just for the fucking effect, just
Do
for
you
the
have a-
Liberace effect. Sequins on the cod piece.
Oh
As
man.
as a blacksmith, do you have a stamp or a logo you put on your designs or
Yes,
something?
it's called the term for it is called a touch mark.
Touch mark.
And blacksmiths usually have a couple as they go through their work. In fact, I've actually got the design for my new touch mark sitting here. Since the cats have always been so famous in the shop, the new touch mark is actually two little outline little cat heads that are stacked on top of each other with the initials of PI under them. So I'll make sure and show everybody. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we gotta
Very cool.
debut it here on Spike Nation. You know, this is
Oh, yeah.
Spike Nation exclusive.
Oh
Well, the
my.
thing about it is I've been such a bitch here lately about getting videos. I've been teasing everybody with the fucking airboat video, but the Renaissance Festival up there is like we're kind of getting into crunch time. And I mean, I'm covered in sawdust from all the boxes and things I've been building for the ship. So it's just been so busy. But the good news is what's happened is I've had several interior decorators come to me here in the past month or so, and I'm actually going to be reopening the shop down here in Morgan. So it's going to be good.
Ooh.
I can't wait. We're excited to see more. You should do us when you get everything done in the shop, you should do the Spike Nation tour. Just
You know
for us,
what
Trent.
I would
would
love
be
to do
awesome.
again? Oh yeah, well see, used to when I first started on Spike Nation, I used to have a shop cam, but the internet connection down here is so slow. I would love to do some live stuff. In fact, that was a big thing, but I mean, it would look like somebody was filming it with a potato.
You know what we should do? We should sign you up for one of these like cam girl websites like Speckwire Live or like X Hamster Cams, and people will just pay gold to watch you do your job. We'll give you,
there you go.
occasionally, you can show a little butt cheek and make a little extra dough, but let's do it.
There is a kink
Like
for
first-
everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm just imagining
Bannock-
some guy.
Bannock is just there throwing money at Trent, just like take the money.
No, I will tell you the worst thing that happened. And this now, as a performer, when I go to the Renaissance festivals, I am on stage, and it's a very close in because I'm not up on a stage. I'm talking directly with the crowd, so it's a very personal experience. And it's a family environment during the day. You got moms and kids and whatnot. But I was in North Carolina at the Carolina Renaissance Festival. And I was doing my little show, and I had about 40 or 50 people there, mothers, children, things like that. And behind the crowd, there was a hill, and I see two very attractive young ladies that are walking down the hill towards me, and they're looking dead at me, and they've got the hip sway going on. They've got the corsets a little extra tight, boobs just poking out, and I'm going, that, my friend, no. You don't understand. That is trouble. If you're a performer, and you see two lewd and lascivious women walking towards you, there's a fucking problem. Some shit is about to go down,
I see
right?
the cod pieces coming back into play.
Oh my God. So I'm sitting there, and these girls just kind of work their way to the front of the crowd, and I'm about to start getting into the meat of the show, and they say, Mr. Blacksmith, we came to see you work your hammer. And I'm like, oh shit. So I start swinging, and every time I hit that anvil, one girl goes,
No.
and just as I'm working the fucking hammer, it's just going,
Trent, I need to go to your house and borrow a
couple.
couple tools from you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And so finally, and apparently they had watched the show before, so they knew when I was going to be finished. And so when I finished, they finished.
Oh
No.
Now, Trent, one question. Did you finish on the tits?
I'm like, I need to see you girls in the tent, like, right fucking now. Thanks
we're doing it.
Thanks for
guys.
watching the show, folks.
Don't forget to buy the DVDs.
Oh, God almighty knows. But that's
a
the
DVD I would buy, Trent.
That is the bitch about doing a show, because when you are there for business, there is no touchy of the titty, because the quickest way to get your contract canceled is to get tied up in something.
That's with the farmer's daughter.
Not even that, because these girls get in these corsets, and I don't know if it cuts the blood flow off to the brain, because they tend to forget to tell you that they're either married or have a boyfriend that's bigger than you are.
And so right beside them.
And look here, and the boyfriend does not care if you're doing a show. They just kind of show up and say, hey, buddy, and it's like, oh, fuck.
I saw you swinging that hammer, man. You gave my girl an orgasm. What's up, bro?
Let me. I have to. And like I said, not to hijack anything, but I've got to tell you about the diddler. You're gonna love the diddler. Okay.
Oh man. Well, I used to work at a porn shop, so I know all about the diddler.
All right. Well, just to give you an idea of how wild the Renaissance festivals can become, and I will not mention any names, but there was a gentleman that was selling some particular items, and this guy came in with his very hot wife. And the gentleman was buying a very expensive piece, about $1,000 or whatnot, and they were discussing everything. So they're sitting there going over the final details and whatnot. The wife comes to the side of the merchant grabs his hand and slides it up her dress. And so with one hand, the merchant is diddling the wife, and the other hand, he is taking her husband's money for the purchase.
Oh, that's life in general, right? You hand
guy's
someone
like,
money to your wife. That's basically the government.
Now, that's
That's
terrifying.
Diddler
Okay, diddling means playing with a woman's particular private.
I figured that out, but that's what I mean. I'm sitting here listening to a story, and all I can hear is, what the hell is a diddler? What the
Yeah,
hell?
I was wondering if there was like an actual diddler.
Yeah,
Well,
there's like
that's what he was named from there.
A homeless man that's a drifter that goes around to Renaissance Fair diddling people.
But what a horrible situation to be in, because as a merchant, you're sitting there going, if I say no to the woman, and the man finds out,
he might take his $1,000 purchase away.
He may stab me in the neck. Okay, all right. So
a good merchant would offer Vaseline.
Well, in my mind, he had his hand on the money and his other hand in the coin purse, so I think he was still handling some transactions.
I mean, wait. Honestly, if a man could die happy, one hand with cash and one hand with punani in the other, there's really not a better way to go.
Oh, Trent, you're getting. This has been a very heated podcast. I'm speechless. Usually, I'm very excited to move on. Now, I have no clue what to do. I have no clue what to segue to. You left me dumbfounded.
And I have to apologize, because we have not been this rough. And of course, the moment Miss Lindsay decides to come on to the show, then we have to tell the dinner story. And I personally apologize.
Oh, don't worry, I love it.
If this is the first time we have a female on the podcast, and it's this podcast.
I think the jungle's getting to Trent.
Hey, do you think honestly, do you think I would be on Spike Nation if that type of story would bother me?
Yeah. You're like you take a little bit of cyanide every day, so at the end of the month you could just take a whole capsule and wouldn't kill you. So that's
the problem. That makes you more attractive. That you're so strong. That's the problem.
Damn it! You're perpetuating the situation.
Do I smell a Spike Nation love affair happening over the?
No.
Music like da na 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 na.
Who needs a love affair when you can have a threesome?
Are there
want you
women
to look in his eyes.
Does
Sorry?
Bannock get to have women?
Yeah, we have women in my home country, but they're a bit, they could beat you in a fist fight.
And I have to take that swipe at Bannock, because I am absolutely enamored by Ukrainian and Croatian women, because these are breeders. These are like plowshare women. I want to make love to them and then hook them up to the plowshare and plant some fucking potatoes. I love those women.
You make cheese with their breast milk.
God.
Well,
hey, listen, it's a delicacy. Come on, you know what? Whatever, guys. Listen, Trent, you can ramble on about giving women orgasms with a hammer, and the second I mention cheese breast milk, you go nuts. You go crazy on me.
I did live on a farm, so I know what he's talking about.
Listen, times are tough, all right?
Let me tell you, and I'm going to tell on my own country here, and I'm going to say this. In America, we are so far removed from hardship that most of us have become big pansies. And there's a problem, because most of the women that I have dated, I can outcook them, and because I have basic life skills, and most Americans can't do anything but microwave something. And I hate that about my countrymen and countrywomen, because we have not known enough hardship in the past years to be capable. And let me tell you, there's nothing more attractive in a woman than talent and capability, flat out and period.
I can
completely agree.
I'm a
good
cook.
In a moment of harmony on Spike Nation, everybody fucking agrees.
Oh my gosh.
Bannock still has a chance to be a douchebag.
Oh yeah, go for it, Bannock.
You're a bunch of pussies.
I disagree. Man.
Just imagine it. If there is an apocalypse, like a global apocalypse, I think the United States might be a little bit screwed, because we pretty much have everything handed to us in some form or another.
So there's Trent's house.
Everyone to Trent's house.
Everybody
let's make this happen.
Trent, you're like in your airboat getting ready to go on hunt, and we're all like knocking on your door.
Well, really and truly, unless you're in South Central, there are not many Americans that have ever walked out of their door and had to worry. And this is crazy because there's so many guns. Not many people ever walk outside and be worried about being shot. Where if you're in a place like Afghanistan or Iraq,
Or
these
Los
are very
Angeles.
these are very real things that happen. I mean, bad things happen on a regular basis, and it has to be tolerated. They live under that, and we've never known that. And I mean, how terribly difficult is it to have a proper perspective on the harsh realities of how things are away from us when the worst thing that happens to us is power goes out for a day?
Oh,
you
yeah,
give me
people lose their minds.
power went out last year for like a week, and people were gonna murder each other for gas. It was crazy.
Oh man.
It was the most. I've lived in New York my whole life. I've never seen anything like it was last year. Just people literally getting out of their car and like beating each other up at the gas pumps just for like a tank of gas. It was really
That's just
funny.
embarrassing.
I'm gonna film it because it's bound to happen. Oh wait, Bannock, what was that? Are we losing connection? Oh, and ladies and
Fucking
gentlemen,
Ukrainians.
ladies and gentlemen, you
computer's
know what
taking
time
over.
that means? That means we have to take a quick break and find Bannock. You know, I have a microchip in him, so whenever he strays away too far, I just have the vet scan him, and we can bring him back really quick.
The
So-
drones found him.
Yeah, the drones got him again. Oh, Bannock, you're killing us. So, we will be right back. We'll hear more about. Wait, Bannock, you there? Bannock?
He's diddling himself.
Diddler!
Oh,
It's
no.
the Diddler!
Oh no.
All right, ladies and
The
gentlemen, so
Diddler reincarnate.
we will be right back with Bannock, Chow Bandit, Zio Bandit, and
Whatever.
whatevs. Lindsay,
That
we'll
is-
back with
it's
Lindsay.
Chinese, you uneducated jackass.
Oh, that's gonna be your quote every podcast, you uneducated jackass. Oh, I love the love you share towards me, Trent. All right, wait, let's see it one more time. Bannock, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, no, we'll call you back. All right, guys, we'll be right back with Spike Nation Podcast. Thank you for being so patient. Sorry about that. We found Bannock. He was rummaging through the trash, but like I said, I got him microchipped and we got him back. So Bannock, say hi again.
Hi, I found a goldfish.
Oh,
Just
you know,
listening
one time my dad had a pond in the backyard that he dug himself, and he was weird. He wanted to put bass inside of it, so he went out to the local lake and he caught a bunch of bass and he put it in. And we went to the pet store and we bought like 100 goldfish to put in there. He thought, I guess, the bass were gonna eat him. Well, after a week or two, the bass died, and a year later, we drained out that pond, and those goldfish were like a pound each. They were the biggest things I've
Oh my
ever
gosh.
seen.
I believe it. I have a
Yeah.
innocently morbid story. When I was in elementary school.
Oh, hold on,
like,
wait.
pretty
I
much-
got a funny ending to this story because it
Oh,
is
sorry,
really
sorry.
morbid. So my dad was very infatuated with these big goldfish because they look like koi. So he drained the pond and he put them in a tub in the backyard, and he was like, "Oh, the next day I'm gonna make a nice pond for him." Turns out a raccoon had a nice feast that night and ate every single one of those
Wow.
goldfish.
That's one smart ass raccoon. Now,
That's
now,
true.
Okay, Lindsay, sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, you should
When
be.
yeah, no, totally. When I was in elementary school, like pretty much my entire class got goldfish, and all the goldfish for all the kids died within a week. I had my goldfish. I thought they were gonna die within a week, but I ended up having them for like 3 years, and they grew like, as you said, to be practically a pound. And I was so confused. I had never seen a goldfish outside of being like an inch big and, you know, that type of thing. I looked online and I figured out, wow, these guys can actually live for a very long time. Kids
And
just
did
keep
you eat
killing
them
them all the
afterwards?
time. I didn't eat them afterwards. I ended up giving to someone
That's-
who ended up.
who
like-
ate it afterwards?
He
You just
probably ate
wasted
them
good
afterwards.
food.
Who knows?
You know, you can market freshwater tilapia as a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, so guys, we're gonna take a turn for the serious note. We're gonna talk about real issues here on the
Not
Spike
really.
Nation podcast. This is the one place we want to talk about real issues. So I'm gonna hand it off to Trenton because I don't really know where to begin.
Okay. Well, no
Because
problem.
you know what? I'm the uneducated fool, as you like to say, Trent. So I
Jackass!
want you to educate me, and since you're the co-host, I'm gonna pass the torch to you, Trenton.
Well, here's the thing from an American's perspective, you know, again, the idea of the policeman of the world and all that kind of good stuff comes up in our foreign policy a whole lot. And And the thing is, of course, after the years with Bush and all that kind of good stuff, Obama steps in. Most of our conservative base is freaking out because we have a Democrat in office, and of course, the first terrorist is going to take all the guns and whatnot, blah 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 blah. And now the problem is we're through a couple of disastrous wars, which I mean, again, we're just freaking awful, and so now here's the situation that we're suddenly thrust back into a Cold War situation. And it's insane because Putin has really pulled a balls move and basically annexed a portion of another country, which nobody disagrees is absolutely illegal. But the thing that, and again, I have to tip my hat, is the guy did this, and doesn't make any apologies, just does it and right. Waits for somebody to do something. And the problem is as in America, we are so war weary. We're not going to do anything. And the problem is many people say that America needs to mind its own business. Of course, it started now that, it's like, well, who's going to do something? And the fact is,
when we mind our own business and we don't do anything, guess who gets criticized?
Well, and again, I'm not going to pick a fight on that end of it, but Putin has pretty much pooped all over our face in that end of it. And the fact is that, we pretty much need to leave it alone and need to walk away from it. I mean, because we don't have the resources nor the stomach for it anymore. But again, here is this situation that is seemingly, I mean, now there's a little bit different here because there's not a shit ton of oil sitting under Crimea. So
actually there is.
Is there?
Is there natural gas? I think I thought there was natural gas.
The shoreline of Crimea is basically 1/3 of the sea of the shoreline of Ukraine, and it has most of the oil there, which is untapped basically. Nobody's touched it, and it's still free reign. So that could be one of the reasons why. But it's mostly just Putin being a twat. He's a KGB. He worked for the KGB, right?
Yeah.
Putin. He was trained in the KGB. He's part of that era where Russia and communism is undefeatable.
I think
so. That's the problem with him right now. He's pushing his boundaries. He did the same thing with Georgia. Plus, his excuse for crying out loud is, "Oh, we're trying to protect native Russian speakers."
You know what it
next?
is?
Brighton Beach in America.
It's like it's this political shift in Russia. I think for a while, ever since the collapse of the Soviet Union, I think Russia has been always trying to get their feet together. And I think for the past decade or so, they've been viewed as maybe like barely democratic or very weak democratic with a ton of issues. And I think Putin's trying to like put some machismo back in their, view. Because Trent, you said this was like Cold War. I feel like in the Cold War, Americans and Russians like really hated each other. As to this, I think it's more like the governments hate each other. Because like I don't know. I'm not Russian or anything. I don't really know anybody from Russia, but I don't think there's this vast hatred of America in Russia. I know there's a lot of industries moving to Russia.
Dude, they love America.
Yeah, they do. You know what?
Listen,
it is true. They do.
Most people would. They're
more American than we are. Have you ever seen like a shopping place?
Let me explain the situation in Eastern Europe. It's corrupt. That's the biggest problem. There's too many people with too much money, and they're very corrupt. So when you have a president, unless he's more corrupt than them and he has more power than them, he can't do any change. That's what Putin is in Russia. People don't like him, but he's the best thing they have because he's the richest president in the world. He has
I had no idea.
Well, because presidents aren't supposed to even have a huge income.
This is the point. He has so much influence, so much power, that none of the criminal elements in Russia actually can affect him or scare him as they would in other eastern parts. Because in Eastern, in Ukraine, there's now 22 political parties.
Hey guys, let me break in right here, Bannock. And the reason I want you to do this because I'm going to have to plow over this. I'd like you to explain this end of it. I've had a customer come in that I've got to go see to, but we do not know dick about what's going on in that situation. I don't know the people or whatnot. So many of us have a very uneducated opinion. I mean, I can say how it feels like in this portion of the country, but as far as the demographics over there, that's what I want to know, and I want to know from somebody that's actually been there and hasn't just looked it up on the map. So do that for me.
I will make sure Bannock answers these questions as my as my duty as the podcast host. And
Thank
Trenton, I want to thank you for giving us your time. Remember,
Absolutely.
guys, you can always see what Trenton's up to at PurgatoryIronworks.com. You can go to Facebook at Purgatory Ironworks. Trenton, thank you so much.
Absolutely. And Miss Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us. And Bannock, again, it's always a pleasure, dude. And like I said, and hopefully the next podcast I'll be on, I'll actually be doing the remote thing from Hotlanta, Georgia. And you guys will be able to see some corporate, some corsets, some boobies, and all that kind of good stuff. You'll like it.
Thanks again,
Love
Trenton.
Thanks,
and
Trenton.
I'll
Bye-bye.
talk to you later in the week, buddy. Thanks again, bud.
Guys, be good.
No problem, Trent.
I'll try. Later.
Now, do you guys feel like we've, this podcast has sort of just lost something? Like,
Yeah.
I know you feel it. Like, I felt it deep in my heart. Like, I felt like if I wasn't even on this podcast right now, I would feel in my heart Trenton hanging up. It'd be like when a mother loses her child, even though she's not there, she feels it. I
Yes.
feel like that right now. So let's once again thanks Trenton for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Absolutely.
So Bannock, Trenton gave you a lot on his plate before he left. All right, he basically told you to explain how the world works. So
In that part of the world.
so give us a quick synopsis. I'm not gonna engage you too much because this is not something that I feel even comfortable discussing because I don't really know enough. I know Putin's a dick, and I know he
not
corrupted the Olympics and he took billions of dollars.
Honestly, the thing that billions of dollars, he has so much money and resources, that's not even important. The silly part is all the homes he actually took away and then moved people to he put them into a shittier place. That's the annoying part. He has so much money, he could give them better, like he could make them happy with the moving. Just give them an extra 5 free rooms, and there you go. They'll be happy.
I saw that they started building like a new apartment complex for the people that were going to get moved, and then they finished like half of it, and then just completely stopped.
Trust me, it's all over Eastern. Some Eastern European countries that are waking up, like Belarus, Russia, and Georgia even. They're trying to move away from the whole corruption thing. They're growing up, but most of the other places, like Ukraine and Russia, they're just corrupt. That's the biggest problem with them. And the corruption is so open. It's so out there that people...
No, it is.
That's the biggest problem with. So
it's like Mexico, you just can't. You have to, if you want to get one thing done, you got to pay them off. You got to have an extra $200 in your pocket just to pay somebody off.
If you took
general
somebody
acceptance.
if you took somebody like Putin, and you found a Mexican Putin or something like that, and put him there, he would kill or he would eliminate the corruption and the criminality because he would have the power to do so. That's why in Russia they love him, and that's why most of the other people hate him because all the money is outside abroad. It's like this in Ukraine. All the how countries have places where they send their money.
Yeah,
in England,
it's called Guantanamo Bay.
Well, in England. That's nice, but in England, all the money goes to Spain or Gibraltar, which is a British territory. That's where they say all the criminals send their holiday members. And for Ukraine, it's Crimea. So all the criminal elements, all the millionaires, all the rich people, they go there. That's why.
So it's basically Ukraine's Australia.
Close to that, basically, but it's more open to that. It's a great place for holiday, though, man. I miss that place. I went there as a child. That's where I saw a meteorite fall down.
So in Australia?
No, in Crimea, man.
Oh, in Crimea. Sorry.
I live.
This is where Trent would come in and call me an uneducated bastard.
Yeah, man.
Trent, we need you. We miss you.
You need a sound clip of him.
You're my anchor. Oh man. Well,
I can't say how the world works. I live in the UK now for a long time, so
I know.
For me,
you're westernized like the rest of us now.
Yes, but I still have links to those places, and I can see what they hear, and they tell me things. So I kind of get the gist of the story. I've still got relatives there.
They tell you things like murder John Lennon.
Yeah, well, they've killed 3 political leaders who were already shot dead for undisclosed reasons. Another 28 protesters disappeared for.
Wasn't the Ukraine where that guy pulled the gun on one of the officials and it didn't shoot and he put it right up? I think that was Ukraine. It was Romania. He walked right up to an elected official, put the gun against his head, pulled the trigger, and it misfired.
And it didn't shoot, something like that. Yeah.
Oh man, what luck, man! I want to know what that guy ate for breakfast that morning because I'm just eating it every day. Oh,
But let's keep the Ukraine topic for next time. I want to
yeah,
ask Zhao, or Zhao, or Zhao.
see, you
It's
uneducated bastard.
It's really, I would say, up to your own like personal interpretation.
So I
I'm gonna
guess-
call you Frederick.
Oh, there you
Frederick.
are.
There you go. So I guess you like Chinese things, Asian things, anime, manga, I guess.
I do, but that's not the reason I would say for the name. It's
That's
unfortunately it's a very boring reason.
Go on,
I'm
tell me.
horrific. Yeah, I'm horrific at coming up with screen names, and a friend came up with this name probably like 10 years ago. So I use it every so
That's
That's a
often.
good plug to the friend that's more creative than you, Lindsay.
Right, no. Oh, I totally need to plug him in. Like, goodness. I am
You mean she's
horrific when it comes to
creative.
that.
I know. Listen, listen. I got a 40-minute podcast, and I got to make jokes somehow. All right.
Yeah, but look, she's creative. She knows Apex programming and
Listen.
SOSL.
She's obviously the smartest woman on earth because she's on the Spike Nation podcast. So I mean,
So
Exactly.
obvious.
that just speaks for itself.
And that voice, the best.
So Lindsay, have you listened to the Spike Nation podcast, or you only heard? You only saw the post that Flynn posted on the gallery. Is this your first time?
No, it's actually not. So way to call me out. No. I've listened to them every so often. I haven't been able to listen to them the days that they come out, but just
So
kind of,
besides your favorite part, which is obviously me,
obviously.
what do you think so far? Are we doing a good job here?
Yeah, it's really hard to start with these types of things, and any type of start for any new venture is always going to be rocky, but I think we're doing a great job so far.
Oh wait, you're putting we're in it now?
I'm totally
What?
putting
Oh
it
man, you're just moving right in, right?
Oh,
You're just making yourself.
I'm
I'm gonna find your toothbrush in my bathroom, your shampoo in my shower. Come on, Lindsay. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I meant more we as in Spike Nation in general.
Well,
But
that's
yeah.
I know that's what you meant, but like I
The
said
community,
before,
the community spirit.
I gotta make jokes. Yeah, that's my job here, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make a quick note that Spike Nation is trying to make this podcast better. All right? They're hosting the Spike Nation donation drive. So if you do donate to the website, please put in like a little comment, whatever, put podcast. So you know that I sent you here, that Bannock sent you here, that Lindsay sent you here. Because you know what I really want to do? I want to get this on iTunes. We discussed about it last week, and I think with a little bit of effort and a little help from amazing listeners like you guys, that we can get this on podcast and make it very easy to find, and we can make it an official podcast. So guys, if you want to help this podcast and if you want to help SpikeNation.com, please donate on the top left of the homepage and spread the love. We're doing this for you guys. We're trying to make great content. If you don't donate, don't worry. We will still continue trying to make the best possible podcast we can make. But I think a little help can go a long way. Go ahead, Bannock.
No, or you can send a nice picture of yourself, preferably
Without
artistic. Yes, something we can enjoy.
When you go and you do those nude model, and then you stand in the room and they do like a nice drawing and it looks elegant and nice. That's what you want. That's what we want. We want, basically, I will just go online in a live stream and I will just be completely naked. And I want you guys, I'll turn around every like half hour or so. Or you know what I'll do? I'll have my girlfriend put me on like a platform and she'll just rotate me very slowly, like a skyline dinner.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then you could just draw me in my elegant body and send that in. You know what we'll do? We'll give them away to the highest donor. No, but in all seriousness, I'm thinking about getting some prizes, some digital downloads, some Steam codes, to promote the donation drive. And you could, not even for money. I want to start giving out some prizes for the listeners. So, whatever. Help us out, guys. And, tell a friend. That's most important. You don't have to give any money, but make sure to tell a friend about the Spike Nation website and the Spike Nation podcast. So, you know what? We're going to wrap things up now. And just wanted to thank Bannock again for joining us as always. Thank you so much, Bannock, for lending your... Yeah, you know what? I'm more excited when Trent's here. And there's an echo in my ears, so like it's that
slightly echoey.
Yeah, that like thing online where you have the echo playing and you can't talk. That's what it feels like right now. So I'm trying to talk very slowly.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. I'm in my dungeon.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Just make sure to feed the GIMP.
That's
You know, I didn't feed it this morning, and I feel like if you just give him some orange
Listen,
juice
you have
the
to
mask.
feed them twice a week. No
I know,
more.
dude, but I had a hamster in high school, and that thing died. How did you think I could take care of the GIMP?
You just give him a cucumber. That's it. He'll calm it down.
He's gonna get like scurvy if I just feed him cucumbers.
Well,
Or is there
you have
enough?
to put
Is
a
there
little
enough
lemon
vitamin
on
C
top.
in cucumbers to starve off scurvy? There might be. Well, I wanted to thank Bannock and
Yes.
Chow Bandit, Lindsay, Freddie,
Thank you.
for joining us here on the Spike Nation podcast. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate everything. Don't forget to donate on the website. So for Bannock and Lindsay, I'm 40 Licks saying goodbye, Spike.
Bye.
Bye-bye.